Hi everyone, Stepan here. It's Sunday, so I'm going to play a training game. And since I didn't really arrange anything and I didn't think I would have time to arrange a game, I'm just going to play a 15 plus 15 minute game here on lichess, a classical game. And I have a tournament coming up in about, well, not in about, in 5 days actually. Let me just adjust the filters on this one, I guess. Okay, wait. Is this better? This should be better. Okay. So yeah, I have a tournament coming up in 5 days, starting on July 12th. I'm going to Novi Sad, playing an open tournament there. And I want to have as much practice as possible, so I'm trying to work for at least 4 or 5 hours a day on my tactics, on minor piece sendings, which, as you may know if you saw the last video in the Road to GM series, cost me a victory in the last round. Probably cost me the victory in round 8 of Gradište as well. So I'm trying to work on minor piece sendings a lot. I'm trying to improve my tactics, and I'm trying to train as much as possible. So training games are going to be part of that, and according to my recording schedule, I should play one every Sunday, but I'm going to try to record a few more. Okay, now to the game. I'm playing an opponent rated only 1600. You cannot see our ratings. They are on the right side of the screen. I'm sorry about that, but I got paired down. He's playing the London system, and lately I've been experimenting with the move Queen b6, so I'm going to play that. Played it in a tournament game, in a tournament in Bratislava, won against 1900. Managed to equalize pretty easy. He played the move b3 in that game, and I continued with bishop g4, which is the main move. The best move here is queen c1, where, well, I mean, no, queen c1, maybe knight c3 is the best move, where I cannot take on b2 because of knight b5, and white has a huge initiative. Looking at c7, then black is forced to play knight a6, and all sorts of trouble for black. So b3 is, I think, the worst option. Queen c1 is okay, knight c3 is the best move. Then again, yeah, probably even taking on c5 is a move, although I'm not sure what to do in that case. I think if I take on b2, then knight d2. But anyway, this move queen to b6 is a tricky move. Usually the main line is knight c6, where it gives white some more time to play the move c3. Queen b6 doesn't work if c3 is played, because then queen c2 is the best move. Okay, he played b3. That's what happened in my game in Bratislava. And now the plan is basically to play bishop g4, develop my bishop. He should now play knight, yeah, as I wanted to say, he should be playing knight b2 d2. Now e6, if dc5, now I can take with the bishop, and he should now castle or play knight b2 d2. I'm going to play the move knight d7 or bishop e6 first. Well, the problem is I can choose between bishop e7. I can choose between bishop e7 and bishop d6. Okay. Okay, probably, well, both of these moves are tempo moves, so whichever one I play, bishop e7 and bishop d6, he should then take on c5. And in some positions, taking on d4 is a move for black. So I'm now actually looking to develop my knight to c6. So let's say I play knight c6, then if d takes c5, bishop c5, and they didn't lose the tempo. And I can also try to play c takes d4, knight takes d4, bishop takes bishop, queen takes bishop, knight c6, where if he exchanges, I'm going to play queen c6. But then I still have to develop my bishop, so I don't think that taking on d4 should be the best option. I think I should just develop my knight and then wait for him to do something about this pawn, if he wishes to do something. Now, of course, if he ever plays knight e5, I have the square protected, which is important. And sorry about the interruption. I'm staying at my girlfriend's place at an island in Croatia, staying with her family, so I don't really have my normal desk and place to record. I'm not in my office, old office, or at my home. So there are people walking by all the time and might interrupt the video, but there's nothing I can do. And yeah, I get to swim in the sea, which is a great thing, and I get to prepare outside of Zagreb, which is much better because it's really hot in Zagreb. There's a lot of people, and staying on an island with almost no people and in a beautiful seaside home next to the sea is just a bliss, and I think it's helping me prepare a lot. Okay, there seems to be something strange with this move. So obviously there's an option to play knight a4. I'm not sure how useful the knight is on a4. In that case, I just have to play queen d8. I think now after the move knight c3, knight a4 is threatened, so a move such as rook d8 would be probably the worst mistake I could do. But then again, knight a4 isn't really a threat if I can play queen d8. So I'm just looking to actually take here now. So c takes d4, opening up the c file, because now as the knight is blocking the c file until it moves to a4, I'm going to have pressure around along the c file, and I want to play the move rook c8. So now I'm looking at c takes d4, knight takes d4, bishop takes e2, queen takes e2, knight takes d4, and then e takes d4, knight a4, attacking the queen, queen d8. Then he could play c4, but if I just ignore that and play rook c8, then c takes d5, probably e takes d5. Then we both have isolated d pawns. I still have a knight on f6. His knight is on a4, which is not really that good. He can never go to c5 because bishop takes c5, and I can always go for a6, b5. So I think I like that plan. I think that should be fine. So I'm just going to take. I don't want to develop my bishop and have him take the pawn and then have to move again, because now when the knight can come to a4, bishop takes c5 is actually a mistake. Okay, taking with the pawn. That I didn't expect, because now I can actually win a pawn, and I don't see what's wrong with that. Bishop takes f3, bishop takes f3, queen takes, actually also forces a queen trade, and I'm not sure what's wrong with that. I'm just going to play that. It's just a clear pawn up. I didn't even consider him taking with the pawn on d4 because it just blunders a pawn. I'm forcing a queen trade, putting annoying pressure on c2, and he can, I think, resign. Knight attacked, bishop attacked, queen attacked. He has to exchange. Knight takes d5, putting pressure on c2, putting pressure on f3. If he allows, I'm going to double the pawns. If he doesn't do anything, I'm going to play rook c8, attacking c3, attacking c2. The c2 pawn is going to drop, and game over. Yeah, I'm sorry that it's a short game, but at least you got to see what I play against the London system. I think it's a really good system. Most people don't know what to play against it. Queen b6 is a tricky move to meet because seemingly you have to defend your b2 pawn, and if you don't know the line with... Okay, that's probably the best option. I think I'm going to just force the trade, because now he has to play knight b1, defending the bishop. If he moves the knight anywhere else, then queen takes bishop. Let's say any tempo moves, like knight b5, queen takes bishop, knight c7, check, king d7, knight takes rook, rook takes rook, it doesn't matter. Queen takes bishop, bishop takes bishop, still a piece up. Yeah, queen b6 is a very tricky move to meet, because most people think that the b2 pawn should be defended, while in fact knight c3, even though it loses a pawn, and obviously you cannot play rook b1 because queen takes knight, there's this move knight b5, and it isn't immediately winning. Black can go for knight a6. Yeah, this doesn't work. Black can go for knight a6, and after knight a6, the c7 square is defended, and I mean it's just busted for. It's not busted for black because he's defending everything, but white has this annoying pressure. The knight on b5 is really good. The b pawn is actually irrelevant because no piece can actually use that square. And so after knight c3, black's best move I think is e6, just closing down the position with the bishop still on c8. So yeah, if you're looking for a weapon against the London system, I think that queen b6 before you play knight c6 is a very good option. So yeah, that's something to look into. I've prepared it for an opponent in Bratislava who didn't play that, who ended up playing something else. And then I ended up playing that in a round where I didn't expect it, I think. My opponent was rated 1901, and as I said, you can see the game in the Road to GM series. I managed to equalize pretty easily, and then I found the plan of b5, b4. His pawn was on b3, similar to this, because yeah, he went for the queen b6, b3. So I fixed the pawn, managed to get an outpost for my knight on c3, and just harass him until I got in a situation to win the b3 pawn, where he resigned. And this game, okay, I'll wait until we finish. Okay, I'm perhaps a bit rude, thinking that the game is over. I'll try to concentrate. So he has 2 rooks and the bishop and 6 pawns. I have 7 pawns and a rook, bishop and 2 knights. So I basically have 2 knights and the pawn for a rook. So I'm a lot of material up. And let's see what to do here. I think I'm just looking at the move knight e5 and don't see what's wrong with that. Attacking the pawn, attacking the bishop, and that should be the best move. I want to stop the move c4, obviously, because my king is still pinned in some of these positions. And there's no way for him to defend both. He can either try to move the bishop somewhere, even though that's really hard, he would have to play rook e3, or he can defend the pawn, in which case I'm going to double his pawns. But let's just calculate c4. If c4, then I'm going to take, because my knight can still defend d6. Yeah, this shouldn't work. Just takes and takes on c3. Yeah, now he cannot play c4, so now it's really over. There's no counterplay for white. And the rook exchange, that's nice. Okay, so 2 pieces against the rook. I want to blockade all the entry squares on the c-file, because the only way to lose this position, even though it's really hard, would be to allow his rook to enter. So for now, c8 is covered, c7 is covered, c6 is covered, c5 is covered, c4 is covered. Okay, I think I want to fix his pawns on the queen side first. The c-file is covered, there's no entry points. If the rook ever gets to g4 or to h4, I can play h6 or g6. The ideal move now would be a5 and then a4. I just want to fix the pawns, and then when I do, I want to get my knight to f4. When I get my knight to f4, I want to play probably e5 and d4, because my knight is just perfect on f4. Yeah, now knight h5 would be a mistake because of rook h4. Now I think I can just expand, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to gain more space, and e5 is definitely a move I need to play. d4, then I'm going to have knight d5 and knight f4. That's going to be my plan. Now next 3 moves, knight d5, knight f4. His best move probably should be f4, but I don't think that's a problem. I'm still just going to play knight d5, because if takes, I'm going to take with the bishop. I don't want to give up my d4 pawn. Yeah, knight f4 to stop f4, and now just consolidate my position. If king e4, I'm going to play f5. And now I want to restrain his king as much as possible. So one idea for him could be king h4. Is that dangerous? I don't think it is, so I'm just going to continue. with my plan. King d5. I want to get into e4, obviously. Now there are already a lot of tricks with my knight and my bishop. I'm sorry that this game was pretty basic. Okay, so which squares are covered? c8 is weak. c7 is covered. c6 is weak. Okay. Okay, let's think. I think I just want to chase his king further away, because now if he infiltrates, I have this move. I think he should have defended against this, and now I'm just going to win the rook. Yeah. A tactical blunder by my opponent, unfortunately for him. Maybe he even had a checkmate. Did he have a checkmate? I don't know. But okay, a tactical blunder by my opponent. It was tough to defend anyway. Okay. Okay, analysis board. Okay, I'm just going to look at the position briefly. I think it was a fairly easy game. And as I said, now in this position after queen b6, there's knight c3, there's b3, and there's queen c1. I just want to turn on the arrows. Best move arrow. Okay. So yeah, and c4, which for some reason I don't know. The main move is knight c3. The second best move is queen c1. c4 has never been played. It has never been played. So knight c3 as the main move, and it should be met with c4 or even e6. e6 is the second most popular move. I've been preparing that. I think c4 is slightly counterintuitive, but c4 leads outside of the London system and is good. And obviously, as I said, if you take on b2, then knight b5, and white has a huge advantage, as you can see. Knight a6 has to be played, and now this is +4, as you can see, and completely hopeless. Well, let's go back to the game. So he chose b3, which isn't such a good move. I know this position fairly well. I think knight c3 is a mistake. I'm actually sure knight c3 is a mistake, because this move should never really be played. I think knight d2 and c4 should be his plan. Now taking, I'm not sure about taking. Let's see. Let's turn on the engine. The engine takes on f3 first and says black is slightly better, and increases black's advantage after c takes d, so I guess c takes d is better. Now knight a4, yeah, which I was looking at, but then just queen d8. And yeah, after pawn takes, it's just game over, as I said. Unfortunately, he blundered early on, so... And even this move now, yeah, it's just bishop b4 and game over. He cannot play knight b5, as I said, because I just take the bishop. He had to play knight b1 to save the piece. So yeah, this was now a pretty easy game and a pretty easy win, as you can see. So my variation against the London system works once again. I like it. I think that it's very tricky for white to play if he doesn't know it. One teammate of mine is an incredible player, much stronger than me. He plays the London system all the time, and he managed to defeat me, I think, 3 out of 4 games that we played in the queen b6 line. So I'm going to train a lot more in the variation. But he, as I said, he is a very experienced player in the system, in the opening, and he knows what he is doing. Against people who just played without really knowing all the important lines, queen b6 is a great opening. And I'm not saying that it's bad against people who know it. It's good against people who know it, but if they know it better than you, then it's bad, which happened to me. Okay, thank you very much. I'm actually not sure what's going to go into the daily video PDF for patrons, because this game was fairly simple. I think I'm going to do a detailed analysis of the move queen b6. For those of you who would like to know more, you can check out the PDF on Patreon. Yeah, let me know what you think about the system. Let me know what you think about the game. And stay tuned for more chess. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.